Well, we have got a lot of breaking news this morning to get to. Following North Korea's threat to cancel next month's meeting in Singapore, the big summit, President Trump is now offering Kim Jong-un protections in exchange for a nuclear deal. Robin Byro is a former Obama campaign regional field director. He's with us this morning. And Jessie Jane Duff is a senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research. She's also a retired U.S. Marine Corps gunnery sergeant. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, let's start with the politics of this, Robin, because China's playing into all of this with the North Koreans. Listen to what the president said yesterday about the issue of why he thinks maybe the North Koreans are kind of starting to change their tune. Listen.
The president of China, President Xi, could be influencing Kim Jong-un. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kim Jong-un went to China to say hello again, a second time, to President Xi.
Robin, that was on May 8th. What do you make of the fact that China has gotten into this discussion about North Korea?
I don't think it's any coincidence at all. I think that Beijing wants to kind of have the upper hand here, and they don't want to give away all their playing power. So I don't think there's any surprise. That surprise meeting, the fact that this came right afterward, you could kind of read the tea leaves and see where we're at right now.
But it's interesting, Jesse, because Kim Jong-un seems to be most worried about being the next Muammar Gaddafi. Of course, Muammar Gaddafi, former leader of Libya, agreed to give up his nuclear weapons. Years later, he was murdered. So, and out of power. So, is Kim Jong-un? Do you think that the president is making a mistake here by saying we will protect you, Kim Jong-un, if you come to the table?
I think it's the only option we have right now to give some type of assurances for him to denuclearize. Kim Jong-un sees his nuclear weapons as a life insurance policy. Essentially, he's looked at all the dictators that have been overthrown, and such as Muammar Gaddafi. He saw that in 2003, when he agreed to get rid of his weapons of mass destruction, and just a few short years later, by 2011, UN-backed rebel forces overthrew him and murdered him. Essentially, he lost all of his power and control. And that is what the Kims know. Their power is essentially based upon having supreme power and overtaking South Korea. So I don't think he sees a win in this in any way, shape, or form right now.
But Robin, I want you to listen to the president himself and his tone in particular when he's talking about the Libya angle in all of this. Listen.
The Libyan model isn't a model that we have at all when we're thinking of North Korea. In Libya, we decimated that country. That country was decimated. There was no deal to keep Gaddafi.
But Robin, he's going to make a deal with Kim Jong-un.
Right. And this administration has done one thing very well, which is to pull successful playbooks from prior administrations. And one thing we know about Donald Trump is that he does not like to reveal his cards. So I really don't think that he wanted Bolton to say that to the media, even if that was their intent all along to use that playbook. I don't think Donald Trump would ever dare want that out in the news.
Well, I want to reference, Jesse, what Robin is talking about, the fact that President Trump yesterday seemed to kind of contradict John Bolton. John Bolton is the one that's kind of had the tougher rhetoric with the North Koreans, and that seems possibly to be what is another reason that Kim Jong-un and the North Koreans are starting to pull back a little bit.
Well, the Kim regime, which is 3 generations now, has it in their constitution that they will overcome South Korea, reunite the peninsula. If they sacrifice their nuclear weapons, which is, again, the life insurance policy for his regime, they lose all power. I don't know quite what he sees his end game will be, because if he does decide to denuclearize and build a stronger economy, what are his people going to do? Overthrow him. He doesn't have a lot of assurances right now without being a dictator.
Jesse, Robin, it is complicated. There's a lot of voices involved in this, and I'm sure we'll get more news on this today later on. Jesse, Robin, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.